It's a rainy Hawaii day, but I'm set with some hot tea and my new glasses so you can see me better, or I can see you better. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Marilyn, sometimes called Maya, and today I'm doing a Friday Reads. It's my last Friday Reads before my vacation, which is next Wednesday. So yeah, it's soon. Am I ready? No, I'm not ready. I have so many things to do before I go on vacation. I usually used to get ready like 3 weeks in advance, but those days are not anymore. They're out. So I'm trying my best, and I'm only taking a few things. I'm going to Canada for the first time, which is a shorter trip than I usually take. So I almost feel like it's a hop, skip, and a jump, which is, there's no hop, skip, and a jump when you live in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. But anyway, let's get started on my Friday Reads, my little haul that I have, or unwrapping, whatever you want to call it, and what I finished. Let me put this down. Okay, so what did I finish? Well, I read this on Kindle, so I'll have a copy over here. It's The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie by Muriel Spark. Now, if you watched any of my other videos where I talk about Muriel Spark, she has mostly been a miss for me. And the only book of hers that I really liked was, I think it was called A New Day in Kensington, or something like that. I'll have that below. But so this is her masterpiece. At least it was probably her most famous book. And I know there's a movie. I know Maggie Smith played in it. I didn't see it. I want to see it now, because I have to say that I really didn't. It's a very short book. It's very propulsive, so I read it really fast, and I don't think it really went into my brain of what it actually is about. So on the tin, it's set in 1930s Scotland, and Jean Brodie teaches in a small private school in Edinburgh. She takes a few favored young girls under her wing to teach them the ways of the world from her perspective, which are seen many as inconvenient and also out there. Her chosen girls become known as the Brodie set. At first, her ideals seem innocent, but as the book progresses, we see a lot of darkness. And her other books have to do with a lot of dark comedy. So this one is not so comedic. It's mainly a study of a lot of what Muriel Spark believed in. Her belief of Calvinism, so religion is in this book. The characters are not all dark, all good, all bad. So that's interesting. But I still felt that some things happened without any preamble, and that kind of annoyed me. So she'll all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, something just hits you, and you're saying, where did that come from? So maybe I need to read it again, because it was an interesting read. There's a lot to do with how a young girl grows up in the 1930s, I guess, in a private school where the norms are very, very set. So, and Jean Brodie is not like that. She has her own ideas, and she becomes almost like a very important figure in these girls' lives, for the good or for the bad. And yeah, so I need to read it over again. I gave it 4 stars right away, and now I'm thinking on it. So that's a book that I finished. Okay, the other book that I finished, completely different, The first one is more literary fiction, and it's also maybe a little dark fiction, like Muriel Spark writes. This one is a murder mystery, but one thing I hate about it, I gave it 4.5 stars because the mystery itself, this is a first debut novel by Deborah Crombie, and it's called A Share in Death, and I was recommended to read this author by one of my subscribers. So thank you, subscriber. And I hated, what did I hate? I hate this cover. Excuse me. I hate it because it wants to show that this book is cozy when it's maybe a tiny bit cozy, but no, it's not cozy. And it's really, the cartoonish elements of it has nothing to do with the book. So yeah, I hate the cover. At least I hope there's another cover out there. But so what is it about? So we have a new detective. It's a teen. So his name is Superintendent Kincaid, and he's a very sensitive person, and there is something wrong with it, but it has nothing to do with the writing, and I'll get into that later. So what is the book about? An isolated timeshare in Yorkshire, closed circle of suspects, which is also fun, and murder again. So we have Superintendent Kincaid, and then we have his partner, who is Gemma. Now, I'm trying to think Gemma James. And she's a very interesting character because she's a single parent, and she lives in a semi-detached house. And I live in a semi-detached house in an iffy neighborhood. So I really could understand that. I was also a single mother, and she's trying to be, to be a working woman, and at the same time, take care of her son. So she's able to, in this book, the first book, she's not in the timeshare. She's doing some investigating that Kincaid is telling her to do. And I really loved this book. Now, this book was written in 1993. So, yeah, 1993. So there are some things that some people, especially women, would raise an eyebrow up at. For example, there's a lot of times when Kincaid, who's quite lonely, he's divorced, and he kind of comes on to a lot, like 3 people almost in this book. So there's like semi-romances, and there's like one instance where there's a woman doctor, and he touches her on her face to take something off without her permission. So that wouldn't fly now, but this is 1993. It didn't bother me. I think the author was trying to put a little romance into it, but I liked him. I really did. And so he's newly promoted and weary from work. So he opts for this. His cousin or something gives him his timeshare because he can't go. And so it's an interesting concept, this timeshare, which was very popular in the 70s and 80s. I don't think it's very popular right now. And there's, from the start, the woman that takes care of all the guests he overhears her having a fight with one of the co-workers. So we know that this is going to be juicy. And I really, really want to read more from Deborah Crombie. And I hope that she is still writing, because she's a really good writer, and it kept me engaged throughout. Okay, so those are the 2 books that I read. What am I reading now? Okay, so I am reading, or trying to read, Kate Atkinson, my second Kate Atkinson. And it started early, took my dog. I'm not very far into it, and I'm having the same, well, of course, this is the large print, and I can't do it. I don't know how I'm going to feel about Kate Atkinson, because right away, and I don't know if it's the book's fault, maybe if I read it on Kindle, and I didn't love case histories, and I have, I told you why I didn't like it, but it's just that there's a lot of stuff happening. They call her another Agatha Christie, so she's trying to mix everybody up, but I think it's not done to my taste. I think it's too mixed up in the beginning. We have, one timeline and then another timeline and another timeline, and sort of like case histories. We had one history, the other history, and so far I'm pushing myself to read this, even though the writing is good. It's just the formatting of the book, the organization of the book that is holding me back. But I'm going to soldier on with this, and when I got tired of it or just frustrated with it, I'm reading a book on Kindle, and I'll have it here. It's called The High Window by Raymond Chandler, and it's a delight. I love this book so far. It's Los Angeles, Pasadena, Los Angeles noir detective novel. Philip Marlowe, is it Philip Marlowe? Is the he's the detective. He's smart. He cracks wise. I love that saying for wisecracking. He cracks wise with everybody he meets, but he's smart, and so far he got himself into some trouble. So the premise of the book is that a wealthy Pasadena widow with a mean streak, a missing daughter-in-law with a past, and a gold coin worth a small fortune. So we follow all these people, and I just got to the part where there is a dead body. So I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the setting of this time period, which I think is the 40s in California. And we follow different neighborhoods, and it's just a delight in the characterization of Marlowe and his, the way he interacts with people, and the way he describes people, sometimes very meanly. I mean, he really goes into very small details about a person's, the way they look, the way they smell. It's you can feel like you're there, from the first page, and I'm loving this book. Okay, so what else? So a lot of people know me for doing a lot of library hauls, but I did buy 2 books this month. And when I buy a book, unlike when I first started Booktube, I have to really have a reason. It has to be part of my collection, or it has to be something that really, they don't have it in my library, and I really want to read it. So the first book I want to talk about, I found on Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot, and she didn't like it that much, but I thought I would like it, and it's called Hideous, Kinky, and it's by Esther Freud. It's not Freud, it's Freud, F-R-E-U-D, Freud. Well, anyway, if you know how to pronounce it, let me know. So we're following 2 little English girls, the 5-year-old narrator and B, her 7-year-old sister, as they struggle to establish some semblance of normal life on a journey through Europe with their hippie mother in the mid-60s. And they stop in Marrakech. And I'm not going to go more into it. It says mom immerses herself in Sufism, which is Middle Eastern religion, I think, and her quest for personal fulfillment while the daughters rebel. So as I think I will like this, because I wasn't a child in the 60s, but I was sort of like the mother, but I did go to Europe, not to find myself, I think to get lost in myself more than find myself. But I thought I would enjoy it because a lot of my friends, my cousins, they all went to Marrakech. That was the big thing, to go to Marrakech. I didn't go to Marrakech. I wanted to go to Spain, and I wanted to see flamenco, be a flamenco dancer. I mean, I had really plans that never came true the way that I thought they would, but it was still an experience. And I wanted to find out what this mother and her children's experience, because I didn't take my children. I left them with my mother for when I left, and they were younger than this mom's children, and I just didn't want to drag them all around Europe. Not that I went all around Europe then, I just stayed in Spain, but it would have been really difficult. Anyway, and I wasn't a hippie, I wasn't backpacking, I had a suitcase. But I thought, and this is a major motion picture, I don't know when, starring Kate Winslet and Saeed Taghmaoui. I hope I'm saying that right. But here's a picture of, a lot of people don't like movie covers, but when it's Kate Winslet, I'll tell it's an exception to me. And the other book I bought was for Holocaust Remembrance Day, and I had read this book already. I don't plan to read it now, but when was it? May 5th to May 6th was Holocaust Remembrance Day, and Primo Levi was an Italian prisoner at Auschwitz, and it's called If This Is a Man. Very terrible cover, front and back, but I felt that I needed to have a hard copy of this for my collection, and to do something for Holocaust Remembrance Day. So that's enough for the books, but let me just tell you, so I'm getting ready to go to Canada, like everybody knows, and I'm very excited, but I have to admit I'm a little nervous, because as you get older, you begin, some people, not everybody, some people can travel into their 90s. I don't think I'm going to be that person. So I am. One of my friends told me, wow, you're really brave. You've been traveling like every year and going very far. And, I said, well, if not now, when? Because there's nothing guaranteed in life. There's nothing guaranteed. And we have to live like we won't have time, because we don't know. And I always loved travel. Travel was my main passion when I was growing up. And that's why I got these glasses. So they're not sunglasses, they're prescription bifocals, but they have a light tint on them, which I thought would be better for filming as well as when I look in the sun. Because I used to, when I first came to Hawaii, I used to lay down on the beach and look straight in the sun, no sunscreen at that time, and look straight in the sun, and that really messes up your cornea. And I had to have 2 operations to fix, to replace the cornea lens. So, and now I see pretty well. But I don't want to make that mistake again, because I've been living in Hawaii for almost 45 years. And someone asked me in the comments if I had a plumera tree. And so I took a picture in the front that shows my plumera tree. And it is 45 years old. And someone gave it to me, planted it for me when my youngest son was born. Actually, it's 43 years old. I'm here 45 years old in Hawaii. But anyway, so I thought you'd like to see how my tree is really doing well lately. So it goes through it goes through changes where it looks like it doesn't do well, and then I have to call somebody to cut it down because there's like flies on it. But lately it's doing really well. So, and Plumera blossoms are very fragrant. And if you know anything about Hawaiian flowers, the ones that are very fragrant, they don't last. So if you make a lei, it's going, you put it on, it's not going to last you a day, but the smell is just beautiful. And at night, for some reason, I don't think I have it, but someone in my neighborhood has night blooming jasmine. And it's just a wonderful smell. And yeah, so that's my Plumera tree. So I said this is my last Friday Reads video until I come back. I'm hoping to do another video on Tuesday for Tag Tuesday. And while I'm gone, I might do some shorts and some videos to show you where I am. And Lindy from Lindy's Magpie Reads promised that we would do a video together. So I'm excited about that. So I hope everyone is going to have a better May and June than they had March and April, because I've been hearing so many booktubers. I watch a lot of booktube because I didn't say this the last time, but a lot of booktubers really just have time to make their videos and maybe look at a few booktube videos a week. I have the luxury of watching a lot of booktube and a lot of YouTube, which I'm trying to cut back on. But it's like, is it television or is it YouTube? I don't know which is worse or which is better. I don't think there's a choice. And I'm trying to do other things as well, including I walked uphill trying to get myself in shape for walking. Found out that I can walk up to 2 miles pretty fast. So that's good. And then I'll just take a bus, take a Uber, whatever. But I'm very excited about this trip because I need a break. It hasn't been a great April, let's put it that way. May is a little better, starting out really good. And for books, I'm just, I'm co-hosting Mental Health May. And all these books are for my mental health because I'm not going to read anything. Like I said, I wasn't going to read the Holocaust book because that wouldn't be good for my mental health. And whatever book that I pick up that I feel is not self-care, and I have a lot of books that I'm reading and dipping into. They're not kind of books that you read from beginning to end sometimes, but you just you pull out what you need at the time. But I am doing a lot of reading for Mental Health May, and I'm trying to bring that to you this month as much as I can with my trip coming up. So anyway, please, if you like this video or any of my videos, please press the subscribe button. I have a few new subscribers, so hello. Thank you so much and press the notification whatever it is, the notification bell, and like if you like it, because that will help me out. I've been doing this for 4 years, and it's so great when you get new subscribers. It gives you a sense of accomplishment that your work is not in vain, and it takes me maybe a lot of work to do a video because I'm not a spring chicken anymore. But I do my best, and I hope you like it. So until we meet again very soon, before Tuesday, I'll wish you aloha.